hour if that's okay with you guys.
There you go. I'm recording this one.
All right. Well, I hope that hopefully we actually get the recording today. You don't even have to make me host today. I don't have no slides. I'm going to share my screen a little bit and stuff, but today's more about like doing, right? And the goal of today is how could you start taking over local neighborhoods using 3-minute videos? All right. So we all love to get more business. And one of the cool things about YouTube that we're going to focus on today is the fact that when you put a video on YouTube, it literally lives there forever. And in a lot of ways, it's like creating a hologram of yourself. You know, I actually saw this thing yesterday. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's, man, let me see. I got to look up the name of it. So I want to tell you the right name because I'll look it up later. It was like super impressive. It's called, still, it's not on there either. I'm gonna have to look it up. It's called like, basically it's the machine and you can put the machine anywhere and then you can be like at your house and it's like a hologram. They're creating these holograms where you can be there in real life in somebody else's living room or in another room giving a presentation. You can be there live giving a presentation, but it's a hologram of you. Mm-hmm. You know, the first time they ever tried to do that in a public sense was at Coachella, like the Tupac hologram that performed live. I think it was with like Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre or something like that. And now it's like, it's interesting how things are evolving. Well, YouTube to me is a lot like creating holograms of yourself because it's you answering people's questions without you having to answer people's questions. You know, once you put up a video on YouTube, anybody searching YouTube in their underwear at 2 a.m, if they're looking for what you put up there, they can find it. And it's awesome, right? And you can be there answering the question and then telling them what to do next, right? And so it's a pretty powerful platform. Now, if you look at Google, what's cool is Google owns YouTube. So everything that we're doing on YouTube is going to affect Google as well because they own each other. You know, Google owns YouTube. So it sees everything. They know every word you're putting on the back end of your videos, all your titles, tags, descriptions that we're going to talk about. They know every word you say on the video, right? They transcribe every video. And so they know everything you're saying. And all that stuff can help you connect together and create a really like a spider web, right? I just want to create a web where I don't care how somebody's searching for me. I want to be able to have my information get in front of them somehow. So, all right. Now, when you look at real estate and how can realtors take advantage of what I'm saying right now, the fact that all this exists is, okay, if you look at a city level, so if we went after, let's say Colorado Springs real estate, okay, that is a very difficult phrase to rank for, Colorado Springs real estate, because Zillow is going after it, Trulia, Realtor.com, all these big conglomerates, gigantic websites, affiliate sites and all, they're all going after those big high level keywords. So it's hard to compete. It doesn't mean you can't compete ever. It just means it's going to take you a really long time, probably a decent amount of money to be able to compete at that level, at a city level. Or look at the average buyer that's looking at a city level. There's about 6 months out from buying. Okay, if you look at Google statistics, people that are searching at a city level, they're 6 months out. That's when they're starting their search. They only know the city they want to live in. So you think about that as a progression of a buyer, right? They don't even know neighborhoods. They only know the city. So, okay, if we go all the way to the bottom and we go to an address level and a specific property level, it's also, you're not going to win at a property level competition level, because Zillow and Trulia, Realtor.com, look up any property address that's for sale today and look at the first page of Google, all the aggregators. The reason is because they have millions of pages on their website, right? Your website maybe has, think about the average realtor site has like 10, 20 pages. If they have an IDX, maybe a few thousand pages. Zillow has millions of pages. Realtor.com has millions of pages. They have so much more trust. And so Google ranks them higher than you. So it's the same thing. If you look at a property level, it's difficult to compete at a property level. Okay. That's why we run like Facebook ads and other ways to compete at a property level that's not Google based. But the sweet spot for agents today is at a neighborhood level. Okay. The sweet spot, because Zillow and Realtor.com can't go out to a local neighborhood and shoot videos. They can't go create content for every neighborhood. Like, it's just not possible, but you can, right? And one of the ways that's where you can win. The other thing is that by being at a neighborhood level, you actually get 3 months closer to the sale. All right. If you look at Google, again, statistics, they say that the average buyer that's looking at a neighborhood level, they're only 3 months out. So now they've already done all that city level research. They've driven around and checked out the area and all this stuff. Now they actually know what neighborhoods they want to live in. That's a much better view as a realtor, right? We're getting closer to that check versus you having to follow up with them for 6 months. Now we're only talking about a 60 or 90-day follow-up process in order to convert that kind of person. So it's a lot easier to manage. So that's why the neighborhood level is where you can win. And that's why we're going to focus on that today. All right. So any questions about what I shared there so far?
Makes complete sense.
Okay. All right, cool. Just like to make sure. Okay. So I've got some notes over here. I just want to make sure I get you guys all the right information. So first thing we want to do is we want to do some research. So you can do this for an established city or established neighborhoods. You can definitely do it. I'll just tell you that it's way easier to do it for new neighborhoods because new neighborhoods have already like far less content. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll go do a little, any chance you can make it to where I can share my screen?
Yeah, you bet.
And then I'll show you, like, we'll just go do a little bit of digging real quick. Okay. So like I actually heard earlier, and let me just go over to Google, and I was searching like new construction in Colorado Springs. Okay. And as I'm digging around and I'm kind of looking around, I ended up clicking on this, and I was just looking at some neighborhoods here just to see. And so I found a neighborhood. I think I clicked on this house because I'm like, 483, that's pretty good. That's like almost a 15K commission, for realtors. That feels like a good, good kind of neighborhood to go after. $15,000 checks. And this neighborhood is called Meridian Ranch. Okay. So then what I did is I go to Google and I just looked up Meridian Ranch, Colorado Springs. All right. And I'm just seeing kind of what shows up here. So this is what I want to show you how to do first. And then if you guys have, you want me to research, let me know. And we're going to just do a little bit of digging around for a second. Okay. So when you do this on Google, if you're looking up neighborhoods that are potentials for you to go after, the first thing you want to do is just search normally with the city names, like Meridian Ranch, Colorado Springs. And you can see with this right here, there's 6.7 million results. Okay. 6.7 million results. Obviously, the neighborhood's coming up number one. You've got this map right here. But there's the link that I clicked earlier. One thing to notice though is that there's no videos. Right? There's not a single video that ranks on page number one. All right. So the next thing you want to do is you want to do the same search. You want to put quotation marks around the search. And what that tells Google is I don't want to search things that are just kind of like this. I want to search only this exact phrase. Now, what I want you to see is notice how it went from 6.7 million to 800, right? Like, I don't know what the percentage of that drop is, but that's gigantic, right? And so that's what we're looking for. We're looking for neighborhoods that, it has rankings on Google, but if you search just for that specific phrase, there's very, very few. There's only 800 rankings. I mean, that to me feels like we can knock this out. Like their own neighborhood page didn't even rank anymore, right? It's down here now, whereas before it used to be up here.
Right.
So if we look here, there is one video, right? So this guy right here, Creekstone Homes, they put up a video from 2018. So apparently this neighborhood isn't even that new, but they're just still building there. So, if you can go get a neighborhood, literally they're breaking ground and you can decide to start taking over the neighborhood right away, you can dominate new construction like with this process. But you can totally do this with existing neighborhoods as well. Just know that it might take more effort. It might take a little bit more time, a little more consistency with the videos versus, in some cases with these new construction, we can just do one spurt of 3 or 5 videos and now we'll take over. Okay. So this is how we want to do the research on Google first. Search the neighborhood with the city and then search it with brackets or with not brackets, but with quotation marks. Okay. All right. Any questions about that piece?
Makes sense.
All right. What's a city that y'all want me to check out? Is there a different city besides Colorado Springs that somebody wants me to research in real quick?
Yeah, Castle Rock.
Okay. So let's just see. Do you know of a new neighborhood that you would love to rank there?
Is it Crystal Meadows Parkway? That's a big one.
They got Crystal Valley, and they got
Valley, that's it. And that's
Crystal
it. Crystal
Valley?
Valley. Yeah.
That's my
Okay,
stomping
Castle-
grounds.
Crystal
Uh-oh.
Valley, Castle Rock? All right,
Oh, no.
we'll see what's up. All right, so Crystal Valley, if we search Crystal Valley, Castle Rock, we got 14.7 million results. So that's a ton. Okay, so let's see what happens if we put these around. Like obviously the less results, the best, right? On both sides. So it goes down to 1,750. So that's pretty good. I think there's a chance you could try to do some stuff for this. You could probably definitely, get some little bit of rankings, but also, there is still a decent amount of competition for it, right? There's still a decent amount of competition. And the reason is because, oh wait, it's interesting what's showing up here. So if you look up this phrase right here, you got add there and add there. On the map, it's pulling up like the same thing what it did with that other search. And then here, so I'm guessing Century, I don't know, that must be the builder.
Yeah.
So, and then you got Trulia showing up once, New Home Source, and then this guy, Brian Petrelli, which is really interesting that his website, his website is ranking. And then you just got a bunch of other, there's like apartments. That's weird that apartments, they must have apartments in there or, a house for rent in Crystal Valley. Okay. Wow. So you can see it's kind of all over the place, right? The results. So I don't know, to me, this feels like that you could probably come in and get some rankings. Again, single video on page 1, right?
No
Not a
video.
single video. So, okay, so that's how we want to do it. So let's just we'll use Crystal Valley as our example. So we'll use Crystal Valley and Meridian Ranch as our 2 examples. Okay, so that's all the research that we want to do on Google. So before I leave Google, any questions? Like I say, really, if anything, just pick one neighborhood at a time, right? Or if you're going to sit down and do some research, maybe dig out 5, 10 neighborhoods. But if you committed to, like say every Friday is video day. Every Friday morning, you wake up, you put on a nice outfit, you go out and you shoot 3 to 5 videos in one neighborhood. If you did that, you like at the end of a year, you would have 2, if you shot 5 videos a week in every neighborhood, you have 250 videos, 250 holograms of yourself living on YouTube, right? That can sell houses for you or convince sellers to work with you. And you'd have, domination on 50 neighborhoods. This is something that's not going to be like a one-time thing and you're going to see this massive result. It's like, can you commit to a plan? Maybe my plan is if it's too aggressive for you, maybe you're doing one neighborhood a month or one neighborhood every other week, or, you're doing 3 videos per neighborhood instead of 5. And we're going to get into some of that kind of content. All right. But that's what we want to do on Google is we're just coming and checking it out. But you guys, if you're in your market, right, you can go figure out neighborhoods, especially again, if you can find new construction. But if there's existing neighborhoods that you want to take over, come in and do the same kind of research, and make sure you're looking up, you can be looking up older neighborhoods as well, because there's still a chance that there's not a lot of content around it, or that they just haven't done a very good job and can still take over, I'm never afraid going after Goliath, right? I'll take him on. Was the guy said, like, I'll go after Moby Dick in a rowboat and bring the tartar sauce with me? I'll go for it.
There you go.
Okay. All right, so let's go over to YouTube real quick. And we're going to look up the same thing, Crystal Valley, Castle Rock. And I'm going to see what's showing up here. All right, so Crystal Valley. So let's just see what kind of goes. Oh, so that's like, this is an awesome thumbnail right here, right? That's a really, really, really good thumbnail. Crystal Valley. Okay, so there's actual Crystal Valley. So living in Castle Rock, Colorado. Yeah, one thing we could get into at some point, as like an advanced type of training, probably. Let's say if we want to do the next training, we could do an advanced one. I can show you how to take channels like this right here, where she has great videos that are running, and put your ads in front of them, in front of her videos, right? So it's like, hey, what's going on? I see you're interested in Castle Rock. By the way, whatever your offer is, right? In my case, I use books. So it's like, hey, I see you're interested in buying a house in Castle Rock. Great news. I wrote the official buying guide for Castle Rock, Colorado. I'd love to send you a free copy. Click the link. You can go grab the book for free and then come back and watch the video. It's still going to be here. We'll see later or whatever, right? And it's like, you can get in front of everybody who's creating content. You can kind of steal their traffic.
There you go.
So yeah, anyways, we'll call that 2.2 or 2.0, whatever.
2.0.
Okay, so let's just see so I'm just looking to see, kind of what's showing up. Really, there's not a whole lot. Do anybody know who this is right here? Courtney Murphy.
Mm-mm.
All right, she's got a ton of rankings to show up.
Shit, I mean,
Right,
her,
but even her stuff-
videos are being watched thousands of times too.
Yeah, she might be running ads to it or something. She only has 2,000 subscribers. So that's interesting. New homes in Castle Rock, Colorado. Okay, so here's what we can do. I was going to talk about this in a few minutes, but I use this thing called vidIQ. Okay, vidIQ, and I highly recommend if you use Google Chrome and you're doing anything on YouTube, highly recommend putting vidIQ on your computer. I don't have the free version. I mean, I have the free version. You can see right here, they're trying to get me to upgrade, right? Like Beyonce, but I don't need to upgrade. I can get everything I need to do for free. And so here's what we can do, right? Let's go see how she's getting. She's got 3.6 or 3,600 views on here. I wonder if this is even an actual video. Oh yeah. Let's see. 10 minutes. Okay, so yeah, she's literally just doing like a tour, right? Like a home tour. So, all right, so let's just see. I'm just gonna look at her descriptions and check out some of her stuff. So one of the things over here, this is all vidIQ, okay? So her score is only 35.5 out of 100. She doesn't even have a very good score. So that's what I'm saying is she's only ranking because there's not a lot of content. But if you can come and create better content with better titles and, you know, better use of YouTube's algorithm, I think we can win, right? So look, that's kind of interesting. So let's just see. Look right here, she got a 0 on her SEO score. So right here, they say they're too long, her tags are too short. So we can come down here. Look, she has no tags, right? We could totally beat this lady. We could totally beat her.
Mhm.
Her channel tags even, she doesn't have. So anyways, right, she's only ranking because there's no choices. That's the only reason that she's showing up is because YouTube doesn't have any other good choices to show you. Right, because notice how none of these things even have, what did we search? Crystal Valley? This like doesn't even say Crystal Valley in the title, you know? Unless it's like way at the end. Maybe she has like a super long, oh, right here. Oh, so it's like way. Yeah. So yeah, this is totally a neighborhood that we could take over, right? And if you just come and look, so we can see right here, here's the lady that's ranking #1 for Crystal Valley, Castle Rock. So let's check this out. Anybody know Ashley Yates?
Nope.
No? All right.
She's a real estate
So let's see. So August the 4th, okay. So she has a channel living in Castle Rock. Okay, I'm gonna subscribe to that so I can see what she's got going on. And same thing for you guys, right? Like, why not subscribe to your competitors' channels? Like, see whatever they're making. If you see somebody make a really awesome video, be inspired by it. Make your own version. So let's just see here. Look, her SEO score is only 19.8, right? So her vidIQ score. Oh wow, her SEO is 81.4. Okay, well that's really good. So let's just see. So wow, she ranks #1 for a lot of stuff. Holy smokes! So she ranks #1 for Crystal Valley Ranch, pros and cons of living in Crystal Valley Ranch, Castle Rock. Here, let me zoom in a little bit? Can you guys see that? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So look, it's showing me how she ranks, right? So Crystal Valley Ranch, Castle Rock, Crystal Valley Ranch, living in Crystal Valley Ranch, moving to Crystal Valley Ranch. Wow, she ranks #1 for all of that stuff, man. That is really impressive, really impressive. So what I would try to do is I can copy these tags. So I don't know if anybody's going after Crystal Valley Ranch, but here's some examples of tags that you can use. And so I would say, okay, if she ranks #1, maybe it's possible that I'm not going to rank #1, right? Maybe it's possible that she's going to keep that spot because she already has #1. But what I can do is I can make it so that when other people are watching videos, see, most people don't see all this stuff right here, right? Most of this isn't here. For people, it's just these next videos. So what I can do is make sure that I'm right here, you know, and I can get into the suggestions by using all the same tags that she's using. So whatever her tags are, I will literally just copy these same tags, right? And I would just use the exact same tags, trying to see what her channels are. I'm trying to see if she has, wow. She's definitely working with somebody that knows YouTube really, really well, right? Because nobody knows how to nobody does all this right here. So she's got Castle Rock pretty decently covered right here in terms of channel tags as well. I'd be interested to see. Her channel only has 2,247 total views. But the thing is, oftentimes, right, these aren't videos that are designed to get gazillions of views, right? These aren't like entertainment videos. These are information videos. And it's more about, what if we get one video viewer and that person calls you and buys a house in Crystal Valley, right? It's like, do you care that it only got one video view? Or are you excited that you just $15,000 commission off of one video view, right? That's like, man, what's better than 100% conversion, you know?
Right.
So don't get too caught up on how many people are watching the videos. It's more about that we want to make sure we're getting in front of the right people, okay? All right. So that's kind of on Crystal Valley. Let's go check out, what was that other one? Meridian. Oh yeah, because I looked it up earlier right here. Meridian Ranch. So again, right, here's the guy that ranks #1 from Meridian Ranch, Explore Colorado. Explore Colorado Springs. Let's see, is that what the channel's called? Explore Colorado Springs. All right, so I'll subscribe to that. See that. So look, here's what I want to show you. See how he has an ad playing? That can be your ad, right? This can be your ad. It's like, hey, are you interested in buying a house in Colorado Springs? Great news. I wrote the official guide to buying a home in Colorado Springs. Love to send you a copy. Click the link around here. It's going to open in a new tab so you can come back with a video. And I'm even going to cover shipping, so that way you don't have to do anything. We'll see on the other side or whatever, right? And it's like, now you can be stealing this dude's traffic. So even though they're going to watch his video, in 3 days from now, they're going to get your book in the mail. You know, they're not getting this guy's book in the mail, right? They're just watching his video. And so it's an awesome, like, very secretive way to steal traffic that nobody talks about, right? The fact that you can do this. So you can choose specific channels to run ads on. So when you go into Google and you're setting up this as a video ad, you know, you can choose this Explore Colorado Springs channel as the, you know, as the channel that you run ads on, or look around in your market and you can find channels that are your market specific. And, you know, oftentimes you can pick them in the back end. It's pretty interesting that Google will let you do that, you know, to run ads on a completely competitor channel. So same thing for here. We can see he has an awesome thumbnail, right? If anything you need to hire somebody for, it's great thumbnails, because the thumbnail matters. People are going to click on it if it looks appealing and stuff. So it's important to do that. You can easily get thumbnails made on Fiverr.com, you know, or maybe you know somebody in your life that's better at graphics than you are, and you can have them do something. But for me, it's like, you know, it's definitely a weakness for me. So I just don't even try to do it. So this guy ranks #1 with 5 reasons you should live in Meridian Ranch. Best place to live near Colorado Springs. All right. So here's Meridian Ranch here. So even still, right, like this video isn't super like specific for Meridian Ranch. So let's just see what he ranks for down here. Move this video thing out real quick. Let's see. So Meridian Ranch, he ranks #1 for Meridian Ranch. That's pretty cool. Living in Meridian Ranch. Is Meridian Ranch a good place to live? Is Meridian Ranch nice? So he ranks #1 for those. If people are searching YouTube, his video is going to rank #1, that stuff. So same thing, right? It's like, hey, if you want to try to piggyback off of this dude, it's like use the ones that he's ranking good for, you know, and make sure that you're using the same tags, you know, so you can just use his tags. What Google's going to, or, you know, what YouTube's going to do is assume that the videos are connected or, you know, similar videos. So whenever people watch this video, then they're going to recommend you in the sidebar. Because remember, again, everybody's not seeing what we're seeing here. They're all seeing this stuff, right? So you see here, what are they recommending? This guy, okay, that's one of his videos. That's his videos. They only recommend this because I listened to it like 1,000,000 times. This one right here, Good Simple Living. I don't even know what that is, right? So it's kind of interesting that they're recommending that video. Complex. So yeah, a lot of it is just like my stuff. So you can see, you know, even he's got a little bit of stuff down here. Explore Colorado Springs. So yeah, but you can take people's videos if you know that they're ranking well for a tag, which is what these are here. Then just copy the tags. And when you make a similar video, you know, if you make a similar video that's like, is Meridian Ranch a good place to live? It's like, let's just search that real quick and see what pops. Ah, darn, it's gonna, okay, 1 second. I'll just go over here and do it right here. Is Meridian Ranch? I don't think very many people over here are searching this myself like this. Is Meridian Ranch a good place to live? But like, look though, the thing is, he doesn't even have a video for that, right? He just is using that as a tag on this video. Because these about Meridian Ranch, that's it. That's his only content there. So again, if you go and make 3 or 5 videos, make some that are a little bit different, some that are really similar. So instead of like 5 reasons why you should live in Meridian Ranch, make a video that's top 5 reasons to live in Meridian Ranch, right? And even if somebody watches this video first, yours is going to get recommended. And the truth is that very few people come to YouTube and only watch one video. They come over here and they go in a rabbit hole, start watching content around the same concept. And so if you can be in the recommendations or the one that plays automatically afterwards, you're going to get views, right? And you're going to get there. And as long as you got to have a good call to action, you know, at the end, it is important to have call to action, right? Look at like, everybody loves books, right? CC brought her book out. Matt brought the book out, you know, earlier, the Page One Takeover book. Everybody loves physical books. And so it's the reason, you know, like, I think you should have a book at some point, or some sort of physical thing that you can offer people, because it's just, people respect physical items today, but not necessarily e-items, you know? So if you're like, oh, I have this ebook I'm going to email to you, people don't really respect ebooks anymore. I don't even think they probably will read an ebook, but you know, and to Jared's point earlier, he asked, like, do people even read the book you send them? When you send the book about like the official How to Buy a House in Colorado Springs book, it almost doesn't even matter if you read it or not, because that you are the author on the book, it like automatically levels you up above everybody else. Cause you're like, well, how can I use somebody else? Like Nick wrote the book, you know? And so it's like it's a cool way. So, all right. So Meridian Ranch, I'm just going to write those 2 names down. Meridian Ranch, and what was the other one? Something Valley, right?
Crystal Valley.
Crystal Valley. All right, cool. All right. So those are 2 right now that, you know, if anybody's in Colorado or Castle Rock, like those are 2 that we've just given you that you can easily start going after, right? In terms of neighborhoods to start trying to rank content for. Okay. Before I go into actual what videos you're going to shoot, who has a question about their research and what we just went over so far?
I just wanted to know, how many neighborhoods do you recommend we work on? Did you say 3 to 5?
I'm saying do 3 to 5 videos. We're going to do 3 to 5 videos per neighbor. So, you know, I mean, to me, it depends on what you can commit to, you know, if you could commit to say, for example, CC, if you could commit every Friday, I'm going to wake up at 9 o'clock Friday, or I'm going to, you know, be dressed and I'm going to leave on Friday. I'm going to go, and at 9 o'clock, I'm going to go shoot some content in a neighborhood. I'm going to pick a neighborhood every Friday, and I'm going to go there and I'm going to shoot some videos, right? So you can stand there with the neighborhood sign in the back or whatever ideas right now, and you shoot 3 to 5 videos, get them edited or whatever you need to do, you know, put it on YouTube. And, you know, if you could do that, and let's say every week you were able to put 3 to 5 videos for one neighborhood onto YouTube, like that's gigantic, right? You would have more content than 99.9% of realtors in a year. You would have very neighborhood level specific content that's going to be valuable and relevant for years, right? This isn't just doing this because it's going to be good for the next month. You know, when people make a TikTok video or put a video on Facebook, like that stuff has a really short lifespan. You know, it's living only for a few weeks or a couple of months maybe. But when you put it on YouTube, video ranked here today, there's videos that were put up in 2018 that were still ranking #1 and right, like in the top 5, because nobody's creating that content. Even here is for Meridian Ranch, the average age of a video is 2 years, right? But now that doesn't mean at some point, obviously your videos are going to age as well. But what I'm showing you is, you know, your content can do the same thing, right? As long as you just do it and you're really purposeful with how to use the titles, tags, and descriptions, and, you know, put the content up and you continually put content. It can't just be like you blast 20 videos onto YouTube and then you never come back. They will not reward you for that, right? They reward consistency. So whatever you could commit to is what you should do. So if it's like, hey, every week, like there's no way I'm going to do that, right? I mean, maybe if that's the case, like it's not judgment. You should just do what you're actually going to do. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's like once a month, you commit once a month on, you know, the second Friday of every month, you're going to go out and it's video content day, and you're going to a neighborhood and you're shooting content that day. And, once a month, you're creating 5 videos for a neighborhood. Even at that, you've still got like 60 videos or something at the end of the year that are out there on YouTube helping you just at a neighborhood specific level, so I would just pick one neighborhood to focus on at a time.
I was thinking I've got a couple of new homes closing next month, and I've got friendly with the rep. So it would be a good thing just to go into that rep in the sales office and see what's going on in the neighborhood and see if they can suggest content and stuff as well, wouldn't it?
For sure. And, and like I say, you can come over here. And so like with Crystal Valley, okay, so we can come over here. The other thing you can do is come over here, just type in Crystal Valley. All right, and let's see what shows up. So a lot of this stuff has to do with concerts, Roblox. Okay, so let's type in Castle Rock and see if anything else shows up. So not stuff is showing up around that one. So in this case, right, I'm just putting up like, you see what I'm doing right here? I'm just typing like A, B, C.
Suggestions.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the suggestions. So Crystal Valley, Castle Rock, Crystal Valley, Castle Rock, Colorado, those are both being searched by people. I don't know if there's a casino. I don't know. That seems kind of weird, but I'm guessing there's a casino there.
That's got an underground one.
Okay.
Not supposed to tell people about that.
That's Jared's outfit.
Right. So yeah, I'm just looking to see, if anything else is showing up here that would make any sense, right? And so like right here, you can see Crystal Valley Castle Rock HOA. So you should have a video, that video to make is about the Crystal Valley Castle Rock HOA, or what's included in the Crystal Valley Castle Rock HOA, right? Homes for sale. So you can look at those, creating content around that. Let's see. So I'm just looking again just to see, right? And basically just keep doing that. So just go through and see what's being searched. You can do the same thing with just Crystal Valley. So I think probably it's not specific enough. The other thing is you could go right here, Crystal Valley neighborhood. I don't know if these things are specific around that neighborhood, if they call it the Crystal Valley Neighborhood Association. If they do, I would definitely make a content around that, right? So we just, again, seeing, I'm just looking to see if anything relevant is actually showing up here. Crystal Valley neighborhood, Denver. So yeah, probably that's not it. So fireworks, that could be, I don't know, right? Do they have neighborhood fireworks in Crystal Valley? In some cases, you guys know some of that, right? Because you're local. But if any of these things are relevant, then just know these are what people are searching, and that's why they're given those as suggestions. So, if that's the case and there's one that is relevant. So if there's like some awesome fireworks display that happens in Crystal Valley every year, then I would definitely make content around that. Here's everything you need to know about the Crystal Valley Castle Rock fireworks display or whatever, 4th of July fireworks, right? And now every year when people are searching around that information, now your video is going to be the one to provide that. And if the video is good and you go through, like some advanced things like putting it on your website, put the video on your website as a little blog post and that sort of thing. Now that content can live there and be the answer body for years when Google, when people are Googling Crystal Valley neighborhood fireworks, and that sort of stuff. You can.
So here's a question, Nick. Would it behoove an individual to not only create these videos, but then to write the same blog post and reference the video itself?
100%. Yeah. And that's basically like the book that I sent Matt, that page one takeover. That's like the whole concept of that idea is shoot the video, put it on YouTube, and then make a blog post that's, similarly keyworded and it has the video embedded in the blog. So now you have the YouTube ranking and you can have the blog post ranking. So you can actually get like a twofer, if people are searching for that phrase, you have 2 opportunities to take Google results. And if you can be in the top 10 2 times, right? Like you're earning 20% of Google page 1, you have a really good chance of getting clicks.
Right.
So yeah, if you can do both. All right. So here's some kind of content that you can actually create, right? Of, CC was asking what videos to shoot. So I'm just going to give you some suggestions. I have this as a PDF somewhere. I just need to find the PDF and I'll make sure that it gets to Jared. So we have a whole like one pager that'll give you some, 10 or 15 ideas for videos. But here's a few right now that I made sure on the board. So stuff that people care about is like, what are the schools for the neighborhood, right? So what schools do Crystal Valley, Castle Rock attend, right? the parks that are in the neighborhood? Are there, what are the neighborhood parks? What's around there to do recreationally? What's the walkability score of the neighborhood, right? Can they walk to restaurants? Can they walk to a grocery store or gas station? Is there anything like that, right? What's around the area? The HOA. So we saw people are searching pretty actively on Crystal Valley HOA. And so I would create content around that. What's included in your Crystal Valley HOA fees in Castle Rock, right? And then you just video that's like, oh, great news. They have a community pool, the rec center, all these things. And you just talk about what people get because, every HOA is different, right? And so people want to know that information if they're buying in a neighborhood is like, what's included in that cost. We saw top 5 reasons. Both of those neighborhoods, people had made top 5 reason videos, right? So maybe you want to be different and you call it the top 3 reasons or the top 3.5 reasons, right? I always think like, if you can do something different, there's a guy named Jeffrey Gitomer and all his books were like 0.5. It's like 11.5, this thing, right? And it's because it made him different. And instead of like everybody else has 11 or 12, he has 11.5 and he just gives like a little bonus idea at the end is what he calls it. And
3.5
maybe yeah, like steal something like that. It's like, how do you, 3 3/3 reasons people love living in Crystal Valley, Castle Rock, Colorado, or whatever. And now people are like, what? 3/4 of a reason? Okay, I got to hear this.
Right. I want to hear what the 3/4 of a reason is.
Yeah, and you just use curiosity as a way to get them to click in and actually watch your content, right? And then if you have some good call to action, now you have a chance to get them to do that. It's like, hey, if you enjoy this content, I actually wrote a book. It's called The Official Castle Rock Home Buying Guide. I'd love to send you a free copy. I'm even going to cover shipping so you don't have to whip that credit card out or nothing. Just you actually give me the right address so I know where to send it, and click around here in the description. You'll see the link, and can't wait to get that book over to you, right? Whatever it is, right? Whatever your call to action is. Okay. Some using other curiosity bases could be like the secret about Crystal Valley, Castle Rock that no one else will tell you, right? Or that the secret about Crystal Valley that no other realtor will tell you.
The secret is there is no secret.
Yeah, whatever the thing is, right? Or maybe, if you know somebody that, like, the thing is, our neighborhood does have nuances. Maybe it's like that Halloween is gigantic in that neighborhood, or there's a neighborhood 4th of July parade that unless you live there and you experience it the first year, like you would never even know that thing exists, right? Or there is some kind of like people barbecue in their front yards instead of their backyards because they want to be more neighborly. I don't know, right? Like maybe there is some sort of secret to the neighborhood, and you know that because you're an insider, right? It's like demonstrating that the secrets, and they're like, well, shit, if Cece knows about the barbecue and nobody else told us, we haven't heard that from anybody else, man. She needs, maybe she's the person we need to use, right? She probably knows, maybe she even knows some houses that are available that other people don't know about or something. So you can kind of demonstrate that. What restaurants deliver to the neighborhood, right? Is another one. People always like to know that kind of thing, right? It's like, what can, if Uber Eats and that stuff is available, what are, or like the top 5 closest restaurants to Crystal Valley, Castle Rock, right? And where could you go on, to get some quick food, or little restaurants that are like, what are the neighborhood spots? Churches is another one. What are the local churches? The 3 closest churches to Crystal Valley, Castle Rock. So maybe if somebody wants to, if they're moving from far away and they want to know what churches are going to service the neighborhood, maybe you could tell them about that. Also, in some cases, it can be an indicator of the people in the neighborhood as well, depending on what churches are in the area. Without you having to talk about, the people or any of that sort of thing, right? It can oftentimes, like, talking about all these neighborhood resources is going to be giving a good indication on those, on those kind of topics. All right. So that's some examples on videos that you, what's another idea that you guys have that I didn't mention of a video you could shoot for a neighborhood?
I was just thinking about it. I'm always looking to target sellers, throwing out comps for the neighborhood, recent solds. Here's what sold this week. Here's what sold this week. Here's what sold this week. And just, if you snag those photos from RE Colorado, it'll source them from RE Colorado and make sure to label them with the listing office. You kind of escape it there, but you also don't have to leave your computer. You can, you don't have to go out and record anything. You can make them from your desktop. So, recent solds, I think, would be something that people would like.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, a market update would always be good, especially if there's like, to Cece's point about how many neighborhoods do you focus on, if you're really, really focused on 3 to 5 neighborhoods, then, that's something you could do every month, right? Where it's just like once a month, on the first of the month, you shoot a video for each of the neighborhoods talking about what happened in the last month, and then again, have some sort of call to action. If you're focused on sellers, what's your seller call to action? Hey, by the way, I wrote the guide on seven secrets most sellers don't know to prepare their home for, to get top dollar. If you'd like me to send you a copy of that, click my link or whatever, right? Like, how do you get somebody to raise their hand before they're talking actively to other realtors? Like you can create a relationship with somebody by giving the book before they're really ready to do something, but then you become the only choice. It's like you're the natural choice because they've done your ideas. They've been looking at your book multiple times. Like I'm telling you, this book right here, this Loan Officer Strategy Guide, is exactly what this does for me, right? Is because I send this book to people and they don't just read it once. They read it once and there's 30 ideas in here, and then they go back and they're like, oh man, what was that thing? Okay, now they're reading the book again, right? And it's like, it sits around on their desk, and people all the time when I'm talking to people, they just have the book laying around because it's something they can go back to. So same thing for sellers, right? If you're creating some sort of giveaway item for sellers, the great news today is if you create, all you got to do is you can go to Google probably and find some decent content out there, but you can't use it if you're going to use Amazon as your backer. You got to create your own content. The best way, this is like a total sidebar, 2-minute note here. If you want to create a book, the best way to do it is go to Amazon, look up other books that are similar that you want to create. Every one of them shows you the table of contents, every single book. Write down the table of contents, put it in Google Doc. Underneath of each chapter, put 3 to 5 bullet points. Open your Zoom or whatever you like to use to record yourself, and just record yourself talking. Like, hey, listen, if you're trying to buy a house in Castle Rock, the first thing that you need to do is you need to do this step here. And here's the thing why it's important. And you can just have your notes on your screen and just record yourself saying it. Send that recording, go to Fiverr. You can find somebody that'll transcribe it. Transcribe the recording. They'll get it back into Google Doc, edit the Google Doc, make it look like similarly, somewhat formatted to a book, right? That it reads correctly. You're taking out all your ums and uhs. And, the truth is that we talk differently than we write. So you make it, at least make it conversationally make sense. Once you're done with that, you can send it to somebody on Fiverr. They'll format it for Amazon. Amazon has a thing called KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing. It's kdp.amazon.com. You can upload your book to KDP. Now it's available for sale on Amazon. It's super easy. Anybody can do this. It's very, very easy. And all you got to do, go to Fiverr as well, get a cover made, right? So figure out what size you want to do. I recommend 6x9, and get a cover made 6x9. Tell the guy that's formatting it 6x9. Put it on Amazon. Once it's approved, now anybody that buys it on Amazon, you make like 30 to 70% of the sale, depending on where the sale occurs. So you might get a little check, right? I get like $100-200 a month from Amazon, which is cool. And then, but more importantly, you can get them to you can get them to print your book. And then the book copies like this, it costs $2.75 a book shipped about. So, order 100 at a time and just have them sitting around. And it's like a $2.75 business card, right? That you can create all of that. All that can be done in like 3 hours total. 3 hours, 4 hours total time. It's not a huge commitment. This is so easy to make a book like this. It's how I've done multiple books, is this process. Either if you don't want to talk to yourself on Zoom, have somebody interview you, right? Have somebody interview you and do it that way. There's another book that I did with a guy named Michael Mann, and that's how we did it, right? I just interviewed him on Zoom for, it was about 2.5 hours total time of interviewing. Then we had that transcribed, formatted, made into a book, and now it exists, right? You can do that, okay? So that was my sidebar. By the way, I've got 11 minutes left because I just can't miss an appointment with my wife at 11 o'clock. So I just got to make sure I'm staying on top of it. Okay, that makes sense what I said on the book. It might sound intimidating, but I'm telling you, if you go back and watch the recording or whatever, we're gonna get the recording this time, and go back if you need to go back and watch that. But I'm telling you, anybody can do what I just said. Anybody can do it, right? It's easy. It's not easy, but it is simple. You just got to do it. Just go steal other people's ideas, compile them into, make it your own sort of ideas, and then just rattle it off. The other thing is when you do the book by verbally like this, it's so much easier to read because people don't use we don't talk in big ass verbose words. You know what I'm saying? Like you listen to me, my average syllable count is like 2 syllables probably, versus people often want to type in like this flowery language, like they're super smart or something. And it's like, man, that's not even how you talk out of here with that shit, you know? And so if you just say it, it's going to be real easy for people to read. That's why they always tell me like, yo, your book is so conversational. Yeah. Cause I literally said it out loud and I just had that transcribed, you know, and made into a print version. Okay. How do you get videos done if you're going to pick neighborhoods to go shoot? Well, I'm a fan of guerrilla marketing myself. So I'm more like, how do you rock it out with a cell phone? If you're going to shoot cell phone videos, here's the thing that you need to buy. Okay, I'm going to show you. It's about $199 and you make all. It's this thing called a Samson Go mic. This is what it looks like right here. Okay, so this piece right here hooks onto your cell phone. And this piece is a battery pack, you know, is a battery pack that goes on your belt or whatever. And then there's the microphone, right? With these two pieces right here, you can be away from your cell phone. So you don't have to be all up in it like this, like most people do cell phone videos. You can get away from it a little bit and, you know, you can get up to 100 feet with this. So you can set your cell phone up on a tripod. You can back up, be house looking all nice with you. You can be full body shot and still getting really high quality audio. Okay, so Samson Go mic, if you're going to do cell phone videos, just get a tripod, get a Samson Go mic. You literally have everything you need to go shoot high quality content. I'm telling you, you'll be fine with that right there. Okay, it's more important to get started than to be super professional. So just shoot with your cell phone at first. Once you're seeing that you're actually committed to doing this, maybe take the next step, right? Which would be either maybe get a DSLR with a better microphone, you know, with like a little, you know, Rode has some nice mics. I personally don't think you should try to become a camera expert. If you're going to do something outside of a cell phone, you should just hire somebody. Okay. It's affordable enough today to hire somebody to do stuff that you don't need to do it yourself. Real estate check, gigantic. Take some of it and invest it back in your business. Right. So be willing to put in, you know, hire somebody for $200, $300, $400 to come out and shoot videos with you for a few hours. Like the video guy that I work with here locally, he charges $200 the first hour and $100 after that. So it's pretty affordable, you know, like I can have him come out and shoot videos for 3 or 4 hours and it's less than $500. And then either, you know, you can have somebody like that do the editing, or personally, I think just use Fiverr, get the, you know, have all the edits on Fiverr or somewhere like that. I'm a big fan of using people in the Philippines. You know, we have a whole team in the Philippines today that do our editing and stuff. So even with me, when I'm having somebody shoot, you know, I just have them give it to me on a Google Drive, and then I just have my in the Philippines edit that down and check it out. But I think using the Samson Go mic in your cell phone is where everybody should pretty well start. And then you can always improve, right? So you can always hire somebody, get better equipment if you're good at it, or, you know, anything like that, right? But having a professional is going to make a huge difference. It's going to make a huge difference. If you look at the videos, I'm putting this little series out on Facebook on my profile, you know, with like 5 ideas for loan officers. And if you look, I had that guy come out and shoot that stuff, and it looks like a damn green screen. You know, if you look in the background, like, I mean, I'm legit standing in that field, but most people would never believe that that's real, because it's just too beautiful, you know, and it just looks really, really high quality because I had a professional come and shoot it, you know, and then just have my team edit it down and, you know, and be good to go. But like I say, there's great editors on Fiverr that can, you know, if you shoot 3 or 5 videos, they'll edit those for maybe $100 or something. And it's just worth a lot of times to have somebody else take those tasks on versus doing it yourself. Okay, when you put the videos on YouTube, I'm going to show you this real quick on the background of YouTube. When you're putting videos on YouTube, there's 3 things that matter. Okay, so when you're coming over, you're putting videos up here. Say, for example, you know, you're going to hit this create button, you know, bring the video in. Once the video's in here, I'm just going to show you here on some content. Like this is the one that I put up yesterday. Okay, so you got a couple of places that you need to put the same keywords that you're really trying to rank for. In my case, this video doesn't necessarily have a keyword I'm trying to rank for. All right, but because it's more just like a curiosity based type of video. But in your case, if we're going after Crystal Valley, Castle Rock, we make sure that right here in the title, that's in the title. Okay. I think your title should be less than about 60 characters or so in order for it all to show up on a cell phone. 90% of your traffic is going to be mobile. And so you got to make sure that your title can be seen. If you have Crystal Valley at the very end, people might not know to click on it because it doesn't say Crystal Valley where they can see it. So make sure whatever's important to you, you know, the neighborhood name specifically is here within the first 60 characters or so that it can be visible. You also want to put that same phrase in the first sentence. Okay. So whatever, if you're going after Crystal Valley, Castle Rock, again, just kind of, I almost repeat the title in the first line on the description. You can see right here, the description is up to 5,000 characters. Okay. So it's basically unlimited on what you can put in the description. If you're making multiple videos around the same neighborhood, make sure you come in here and link the videos together. So if you're like, if this video right here is, walkability score of Crystal Valley, Castle Rock, Colorado, then down here, it's like, click here to watch the 5 closest restaurants to Crystal Valley. Click here to the closest 3 churches. Click here to watch about the neighborhood parks, right? And have other options here where you're linking your videos all together. If you can get people to watch more than one of your video, YouTube starts to reward that, where they assume that your content is really strong, that it's all relevant together. And so you want to encourage that to people. So that's one of the ways you can encourage them to watch multiple of your videos, is make sure you're linking, multiple videos down here in the description. Okay. Last thing is, we scroll all the way down, you're going to have video details right here in the tags. Okay. So remember, this is what we were seeing over there on the right-hand side on my screen earlier from vidIQ, is we were seeing these background tags. Most people do not see the tags. This is hidden keywords that are associated to your video that the public doesn't see. We're only seeing it because we're using vidIQ and it's showing us that, as like a sneak peek kind of thing. But this is where you want to put your words. In the tags, limit the tags to 15 tags. All right, 15 tags. You have 3 different categories of tags. The first tag is going to be about the video specifically. So about that specific neighborhood. So, Crystal Valley, Castle Rock, Crystal Valley, Castle Rock, Crystal Valley, Castle Rock, CO, whatever the actual video is, right? Like neighborhood parks in Crystal Valley, Castle Rock, right? So you got about 5 like that. Then you're going to have about 5 keywords or tags that are around your name. So Matt Portolano Realtor, Castle Rock Realtor, right? These kind of words. Okay? Then if you want to, you're going to have 5 tags around your competitors. So the way I just showed you earlier, to go look at the videos, see what's ranking, what are the keywords that they're using, what are the tags they're using in the backgrounds, and use 5 of the tags that they're using. So that if somebody's watching a competitor channel, you can have the opportunity to be associated to that video. So because you yourself in the in the recommendations column, instead of, and so that way you're not only relying on YouTube to recommend you on page number 1, right? But also to get into the recommendations as people are watching other similar videos. The guy that originally taught me YouTube, this kind of organic strategies, his name is Adam Linkenauger. He has a channel, I Love Basketball TV, has like a little over 2 million subscribers. And he told me it's more important to get in the recommendations on the sidebar than it is to rank number 1. Because people will watch one video, but then they're looking, like while that first video is playing, they're like looking around like, oh, is there a better video? Is there something else I should watch? And if you can get in those recommendations, that's where you're going to get your most views out of. That and the ability, like in some cases when people are just like binge watching, where they just show your video as the next one, so they watch one video and then when it automatically plays it has your video, on the next one. And like I said, vidIQ, vidIQ, you're using Google Chrome and you're going to do anything on YouTube with what we've been talking about today, put vidIQ on your computer so that you can be able to go do some research on your competitors' videos, on keywords that they're using and different things like that. And if anything, pick a neighborhood. I'm hoping that I'm going to be back again, and we can figure out, like I would love to see some progress, right? If somebody actually goes out and shoots some videos, has them ranking. I mean, that's what it's all about at the end, is like coming and getting the information is great, but we got to make sure that we're taking action.
Totally. Well,
so with vidIQ, if you download it on your computer, does it automatically collab with YouTube then?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And I don't even know that, like the pro version might have some other cool stuff, but I've gotten tons of value, just everything that I feel like I need out of the free version.
All right, cool.
In terms of being able to see and what, like, because anything that I want to rank for, I can go now look and see what already ranks. I can shoot a similar video, use their same tags, and now I can make sure that I'm showing up.
Okay. All right. Too easy.
You know, and I
For
think,
sure.
I think the biggest piece was, you know, doing this consistently, you know, I would say picking a strategy that you know you're going to execute, you know, and just religiously completing it, you know, just making sure that you actually do it. You know, the biggest thing that I noticed too was, you know, the one lady that ranked #1 had all of her tags and those corresponding, but she didn't have that many views. The lady that
Right.
had thousands of views wasn't ranking #1, but had no tags.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could have been that she was running ads. Because she
Right.
did have a ton of views. So it could be that her video is embedded on a website that gets a lot of traffic, or that video might be getting traffic somewhere else, you know, because YouTube videos can be shared. Maybe she's sharing it into email lists, or I don't know exactly, but somehow I think she's driving traffic outside of YouTube to that video, either through paid traffic or through her lists, or, you know, something like that.
If she had
Might be my
incorporated
guess.
those tags, what would her ranking be? You know, I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if
doing
we come back
all-
next time, what we could do is I can show you that advanced piece where if you guys start shooting ads or start shooting videos and you want to start running some videos as ads, like is what they call pre-roll ads, we're going to show you how to do that, a little advanced trick next time on how to start running ads on competitors' YouTube channels, right? Because it's pretty awesome, and like it's so sneaky, the fact that YouTube offers that. But man, I really appreciate y'all for jumping in here. I gotta hop off right now, but man,
Thanks, Nick.
thank Jared for inviting me again, and hopefully you got tons of value out of today. And like I said, let's do it again.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Nick.
So
Thank you.
much. Thank
Hey,
you.
All right,
That was
Take
we'll see
great.
care,
y'all.
buddy.
Thanks.